Hi friends, in today's video I'm demonstrating card number 6 from my Hello Irresistible card series, which means it's the last card of this series. And today's card features a fun fold that is new to me and I'm loving it. And there's no stamping on this card except for the sentiment. All of the flowers and leaves are going to be die cut straight from the beautiful coordinating designer series paper. So I have some pieces I've already cut. Might use this one. Here's some flowers, and our dies fit perfectly in those flowers. Here's some pink ones. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to just cut a piece of this designer series paper so that it fits in my little mini die cutting machine, because that's what I'm going to be using today. And this whole piece will fit on our regular die cut and emboss machine. Alright, and I'm going to need some leaves. I'm just positioning the dies on top of the leaves, and I'm going to hold them in place with a piece of washi tape. Just quicker and easier. And I'm going to put my plate on. And a little tip, this will work best when you have your clear plates overhanging your base white plate just a little bit, and then that gives your machine something to kind of pick up on. Okay. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out the rest of my leaves because I'm not sure how many I'm going to use on this card, and then I've got them for other cards. And there's some tiny little leaves on here, so I'm just actually going to trim them out and use them as well. I have these two scrap bits left over from the same designer series paper pack, and I'm going to use them to cut out some more leaves using some different dies from the same die collection. I'm not worrying about using washi tape this time around because I don't have to line these up like I did on the previous die cuts. Now I'm going to move on to the flowers. Bringing in a piece of designer series paper that measures 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm using this totally awesome die. And I did bring in my bigger die cutting machine for that because this size of paper won't fit inside the mini. Let me show you what happens. Look at how that die comes out. Isn't that just the coolest? I absolutely love that die. Now for the card, you need a full sheet of cardstock that measures 8.5 by 11. And I'm going to score it along the 8.5 side at 4 1/4, spin it around, and score it at 5 1/2. Okay, so I have my cross score lines. I'm going to remove the top right panel, so lining it up at my 4 1/4 inch mark and bringing my blade up to the 5 1/2. I'm going to cut. I'm going to turn it around, line up my paper at 5 1/2, and cut down to 4 1/4. So I will save this for a different card, and then what you do is you fold on those creases. And I actually forgot, I'm going to bring my paper trimmer back in. I'm going to cut a tiny little piece right off here. Let's do it this way. You can use your scissors, but I like the paper trimmer for this bit. So just a tiny itty bitty sliver. Okay. And hold on those score lines, get a really good crease. Now, this is the section that we removed. The card is going to fold like that. All right. Before I glue this designer series paper down, I'm just going to take my pencil and lightly go around the inside of this circle, because I'm going to cut that circle out with one of my layering circle dies, and it's just going to help me line up everything with this die. So I'm going to open my card like this. So I have the flap inside on the bottom, and I'm just going to put that right there like so, and just position my die on that pencil line. I'm gluing down my designer series paper. I'm only dabbing just a tiny bit of glue on the die cut. Don't have to worry about that too much. And then I'm just centering my paper onto my card base. Now I have another beautiful designer series paper pattern, and I'm going to glue that inside so that the flowers on this designer series pattern are going to peek through that circle. So just line that up. You see? Pretty, pretty. Now I have another piece of designer series paper, which also measures 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to glue that on the inside right here, just to decorate the inside a little bit. And then I'm going to add a piece of designer series paper for here as well. So to do that, I'm going to put my designer series paper on there, grab my pencil again, just so I can get a rough idea of where I'm going to be putting my circle die, and cut that out. Now that that is cut, I have to decide which pattern I want, and I don't know. I think I might go with that one, just for something different. I'm just lining it up with the circle die cut, so I know it's not completely center on there, but that's totally fine. Coming together. Now it's time to add my die cuts. I'm not going to need all of these, but I like having the variety. I'm just putting a little bit of glue in the center because I'm going to be sliding leaves underneath that. So I'm going to put that one there. Let's grab the yellow one. Aren't the colors in this just gorgeous? Okay. And now a Stampin' Dimensional, and I'm going to take the smaller flower and position that in the center. And same thing for the yellow. Now I'm going to take some leaves, start tucking them on. Isn't that pretty? And just so much fun using the die cuts, building up the leaves and the flowers. So I'm going to bring in my fine tip glue. Now I'm going to add one of our loose frosted gems. So I'm sure many of you are aware these are currently on back order. I noticed that they're due back on May 1st. I haven't left a whole lot of space for a sentiment on the card, so I'm just going to stamp the word friend and put that on the front. So I'm just going to ink this up with my Evening Evergreen. I'm not worried about any extra letters because I'm going to cut them out anyhow. And I want that to be darker, so I'm going to redo that. Hold it down for a second. Oh yeah, well, it's much better. I'm going to take half a Stampin' Dimensional and pop this onto the front. Now for my sentiment, I'm pulling in a different stamp set called Good Feelings, and I'm going to stamp You're on My Mind and In My Heart. And that is because this card is for somebody in particular who is having not a great time of it, and I want to send her a card in the mail. In other words, a hug in the mail. So I'm going to bring my Stamparatus in because I want to make sure I get this really nicely inked. So I'm going to ink this with some Daffodil Delight first. Ooh, that looks good. Wipe off the ink and bring in some polished pink. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I don't even think I need to mess with that. But I am. I'm going to mess with it. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of petal pink on there. So I'm just using the edge of my ink pad, just kind of going across a little bit here and there, and we'll see what happens. It's always kind of magical. So you can see that gradual changing of color, which I think looks really, really nice, if I may say so myself. And I know I did this on one of the cards in this series. I'm going to do it again where I'm going to emboss clear on top of that. So I just added my embossing buddy and my stamp is clean. I'm going to go on top of that with my first mark and then emboss this in clear. Now, as I have some flowers left and some die cuts, I'm going to put some on this card as well. One thing I want to show you about the gems is you can also use our mini glue dots to put the gems on. The only thing about using mini glue dots is if it squishes up too much, the gem's not going to sit very flat. So just keep that in mind. You want to make sure it goes down nice and flat. Finish my card, I am taking a glue dot and I'm going to put a dragonfly, and I'm putting it down here because I don't want to draw any more attention coming up near the top. I like how everything's down on this section of the card. And there you have it. Made with a whole lot of love. And of course you can stamp on here, which I did on my original card, and I'll show you. And then the inside. So here's my original card, and you can see it's only got the one flower, and then here I just cut another portion of the flower and popped it on with the dimensional. And along the bottom you can see I put a strip of designer series paper, stamped the sentiment, and added a little scrap piece that I flagged. And then on the inside I stamped the inside, and then I did this differently too, where I took the circle that I cut out of this layer of designer series paper and put that on the center. I can't wait to try this card fold with so many of my other stamps. I can imagine using our little host set with the little frogs or cute little characters poking through that little window. Imagine Christmas cards where you can have a Christmas tree or some of our beautiful designer series paper behind there and some holly. Like, this is probably one of my new very favorite card folds. It's so easy and just the sky is the limit, and looks absolutely great with our Hello Irresistible suite. So I really hope you enjoyed today's cards. I hope you enjoyed this card series as much as I did. I really had a lot of fun creating these videos for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and the like button and the little bell button so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Take care, I appreciate you, and happy stamping.